Hey Snapchat, I'm back with my week-long Clash of the Titans explaining what's changing in the venture capital industry. If you go to snapstorms.com, you'll see the summary that I did for the week, but I'm going to give you a really quick recap. There are no good actors, there are no bad actors. Everyone just has different incentives based on their size and stage. Please don't read any value judgment on what I'm going to tell you about angels and seed investors today. When people have small checkbooks or write checks across many different companies, they have different incentives than late-stage investors. With angels, in many occasions, they don't have pocketbooks to follow their investments as they go into future rounds. In a good way, angels tend to act more like founders, so they tend to be more aligned with your interests. In a bad way, just like founders, they tend to have less deep pockets to help you if you really need financial support. If your angel or your seed fund is prolific, meaning they do many different investments, you're going to have the following characteristic. If you hit a bump in the road, they're less likely to have the time, capacity, resource, or ability to help you, even with issues that are non-financial. If you've personally invested in 200 companies, you simply just can't go deep as a VC who's done 5 or 6 investments. The name of the game for seed funds between 2010 to 2015 was very similar. Most seed funds were new, so they had to establish legitimacy. How did they establish legitimacy? They established legitimacy by getting into great deals and then getting those marked up by downstream investors. Every VC does what's called mark to market, which means if someone funds at a higher price, they increase the value of their total portfolio. So if they funded you at a 4 pre and someone else funded you at a 40 pre, they might be taking a 10x markup on their investment. The reason that matters is for seed funds that were new and establishing legitimacy, they needed proof to raise Fund 2 and Fund 3 and Fund 4. So coming to the clash of civilizations, if you're a company that later on raised a ton of late-stage VC at a high price, if there becomes a moment of reckoning where prices have to reset, those early-stage investors tend not to be interested in resetting. Number one, you may find people who are resistant to it, but they don't have the capacity to write a check to help you on a go-forward basis. Number two, sometimes I see those early-stage investors pushing for you to sell the company or exit the business. Here's why. If they're faced with getting some sort of a return from you right now, or late-stage investors cramming them or crushing them, they may opt for the former. That may be in your best interest. That may not be in your best interest. No goods, no bads, just understand incentives. So while you hear them taking very founder-friendly positions, understand that it's easier for them to do so. They have less money at stake at much lower prices. As the week progresses, I'm going to explain to you how A and B round investors act and feel, and how growth investors act and feel. But in later stage businesses where you're burning, let's say, $500,000 to $1 million a month, one of the things you care about the most is people who have deep pockets to help fund you. And as I do that, you'll understand both the positives of angels and seed investors and the limitations of them as your company grows and scales.